stuff here. This is a horror visual novel. We have actually already started this one. We did the demo a few days ago, so if you haven't seen that, you might want to check out my old videos. But if you have seen it, you'll have seen these opening scenes. So for the most part, I'm just going to kind of click through stuff. I would skip, but I don't want to skip past where we got. So we got to the school section. I might turn the skip on.
Suzumu.
Yeah, we can skip the scenes. That was a big skip. So the opening scene was basically, of Iwaihime, was basically, this girl, Subakiko, is waiting for this boy, Suzumu. Suzumu is a relative, but not very closely related, at least not in this version of the game. He's like, I don't know, cousin, like, 6th removed or something like that. So anyway, Suzumu is now going to this high school. So this skips 2 scenes. It skips the scene with her where she's in this dreamlike state. She falls asleep at the station. But you don't know that. You just think it's just her continuing her day, and she's hearing this person at the station while she's waiting for Suzumu that is talking about suicide, and she starts to think, ooh, you know, that it doesn't sound like that bad a thing, you know, oh, you know, some people get their haircuts, suicide's just like getting your nails done. It's an everyday thing anybody could do. So, obviously, messed up. But this, you know, this character starts to contemplate it, but she kind of starts to realize she's being used, and when she does realize that, it's almost too late. She's standing in front of, like, the train tracks. Hands are pulling at her, you know, to pull her in. They're like ghostly hands. And ultimately, she does die in the dream, but in reality, she's still alive. She wakes up and sees Suzumu, and everything's okay. So Suzumu goes to the apartment complex that he's staying at, which is her family's apartment complex in this other city. Apparently, Suzumu's family has to... the boys in their family have to prove themselves on their own, so they send them off into the world to go to high school in some other area away from their family. So that's what Suzumu is doing right now. He's living at Subakiko's apartment complex that her parents own. When he's there, he starts to have a vision of this weird village and this weird... I don't even know how to describe it, but like guardian deity thing or something. It smushes him, and it's in this like village. It's like a big giant monster or something. They just kind of describe it. You don't really get to see it. And then he transitions back to the real world, so he's back, and he's going to high school here. This is going to be another major scene. I won't skip the scene. I'm just going to kind of mash through till we get to the area we want to get to, which is when they introduce the girl. It's like there's kind of in another situation where there's a girl in class everybody ignores because she's weird, she's quirky, she carries a doll with her, and she's standoffish and she doesn't talk to people. So we're gonna pick up there. She's it's kind of like another where people are just ignoring her, and they think if you get close to her, you'll die. Just sending a tweet out about Iwaihime. Alright, so let's get started. Again, I'm just going to skip the dialogue here. I don't want to skip the scene because I'm a little worried. I guess I could save. Just a little worried about skipping the scene. How far will it skip? Oh yeah, that skipped. I'm pretty sure that skipped too far. I don't think that's the dream. Okay, so we'll just kind of mash. There's Subakiko. Subakiko, obviously the girl he knows. She talks about, So she talks with Suzumu about his notebook. He's got these very girly, delicate drawings that, the tomboyish Subakiko can't really do. And she's trying to be the perfect wife for, her future husband or whatever. So she'd like to be able to steal his skills at writing notes. Okay. So this guy's a Natsuya. He likes to challenge people to scissors, arm wrestle battles. So he challenges people to arm wrestling. Usually he wins, but he ends up picking an arm wrestle fight with our main character. And you can guess it doesn't go well. He loses, but our main character gains his respect. And so, yeah. He's a good dude, apparently. But maybe they'll turn that on its head. For now, he's a good dude. He's just kind of like, he's a follower. He does whatever Suzumu is doing. If Suzumu is writing girly notes, he doesn't see them as girly. He sees them as cool. Tries to emulate them, even though it seems a little creepy. Alright, let's go! I should do this more often, because it does engage me with the story a little bit more, doing the little bit of summary before we start. I don't remember the teacher's name, but obviously, kind of a cute sensei. I think a lot of people like this teacher. I forget if she's the health teacher. I think she might be. Miss Hinagata, health class is next.
ススハラ君はお勉強を楽しんでるからそれが勉強そう味気ない日常に潤いを与えるのもまた素敵
Health class is next. Yeah, so she's the health class teacher. Okay, so we're gonna skip through at least, until this girl comes in. Now, I did read this part. I might read it again, bits of it. But, I'll probably just skip through. This girl, she is kind of this weird character. Everybody avoids her.
Kurakami-san?
Kurakami. Okay. So Kurakami obviously carries around this really creepy-looking doll. She's got kind of that old Japanese kind of style to the doll and to her own hair. And she's got dead eyes. That does not look good. Yeah, ultimately, she's probably not going to turn out to be, like, as evil as people think. But, that's my guess. But, she's probably going to be involved in something occult that's going to catch them all up. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's super evil and everybody's going to die. The main character seems to want to get to know her because he thinks all the rumors about her are BS. So let's dive in. We'll try to get to the next scene. So Toei Kurakami. Yep, she's got the dead eyes. Gotta love that image of her. She's a wonder.
Kurokami-san.
Yeah, so there's a rumor that a girl got close to her, and then I think she committed suicide. At the very least, the girl left school. I do know that much. So she was around the girl. The girl got depressed and at the very least left school. I do remember that much. So his gaze is drawn to her. Yeah, people find it hard to believe that she passed the entrance exam. Because she exits class when she kind of wants to. She ends up leaving this classroom. Japanese doll. I wanted to see about that story that they tell about her.
目がそんなことあるわけないよ。
Crazy rumors.
それで
I heard a girl last year who felt bad for her, tried talking to her.
なんか精神を病んで
Insane.
悪霊に取り憑かれたとかで親と
僕は信じないな。
She got possessed, had to be exorcised.
確かに彼女にはでも
ちょっと案外進むって芯が強いんだね。
You're braver than I thought.
僕は人を見かけや噂話で評価しちゃいけないって。
Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to change. Instantaneous. Okay.
進むは偉いね。
You amaze me, Suzumu.
人の評価に惑わされず自分で確かめたいって気持ちすごく尊敬できるよ。
It's amazing that you'd rather get to know someone than believing in rumors.
当たり前のことだと思うけどな。
Isn't that only natural? I did something wrong here. The text speed. At the max setting, the entire line will be displayed at once. It's not, though.
でもね、進む。
It's not working.
愚者は経験に学ぶって言葉知ってる？
Why isn't it working?
知らない。何それ？
Maybe it's just for these particular lines? I don't know, it doesn't seem to... Oh, it's because of voice sync. Duh. Okay.
私もどこの偉人が言った言葉かは知らん。
I don't know why I said it, but it's on the internet. Fools learn from experience. Yeah, basically, you know, if you learn by doing something, it's not a good idea, she's saying. Like, if you jumped off a bridge to prove that the bridge wasn't too high up, that's not a very good idea, right? You're gonna be dead. So even if you did learn, it wouldn't be worth it.
10階建てのビルの屋上から飛び降りれば死ぬ。でもスズムはそれを自分で体験しない限り信じないって言ってる。危険を避けるために人々の累積した知識、歴史に耳を傾けるべき時も。
There are times when we must turn to mankind's wisdom to avoid certain death.
そんな大げさな話じゃないよ。
This isn't that big a deal.
黒髪さんに話しかけたら僕が死んじゃうなんて
Talking-
あるわけがない。
Talking to Kurakami isn't gonna kill me.
それはそうだけど、
That may be true.
でもみんなが彼女を敬遠し薄気味悪く思い、
But everybody avoids her because she's creepy.
その蓄積された歴史を無視して我が身で確かめようとするスズムは、
You want to ignore everybody's experiences and see what she's like for yourself.
ひょっとしたら
But don't you think
命知らずかもしれないよ。
you might be putting yourself in serious danger? Alright, let's kind of skim through. Okay. This is where we left off, I think. I don't think you should get mixed up with Kurakami. No. Not what I wanted.
キコちゃん。
私止めたからね。
I warned you, okay? Now this is different. I'm glad I stopped where I did, because this is definitely not the next scene. Now, I'm curious if I missed anything. Now I kind of want to go back and double check, because this might be a different scene. This is rather sudden, but my name is Yuto Akagawa. Not that you have to remember it. Everyone only calls me by my nickname. What sort of nickname is that, Fattygawa? If you asked the rest of the class about me, they'd say I was everyone's favorite laughingstock. The kind of person everyone makes fun of. You see those on the variety shows all the time, right? Where the comedians get put through bizarre punishments and everyone laughs at them. Well, that was me. I was always the butt of jokes. That day was no different. A comedian got stripped down to his underwear and had embarrassing things written all over him with felt markers. The people on TV all had a good laugh. Oops, I did miss a line. The viewers did the same. But I never laughed. I felt sympathy for the comedian, seeing him like that. Not sympathy, fear. Because I knew that'd be me tomorrow. That's a new set of lines.
おいデブ赤デブしりとりやろうぜしりとり
Hey, Fattygawa, let's play a word game.
Oh, 俺たち友達だろなあ遊ぼうぜ
We're friends, right? Let's play a game. When the lunch break came around, a bunch of crass guys would try to force me to play with them. I was by no means popular. And though they called it playing, I was the only one getting played with.
じゃあ俺から行くぞデブのブからなブルー
They're calling him Debu or whatever, which is like Fatty Pig. Then I'll start. I'll go with the effing Fatty. Flame.
ほらルだよル早くしろよデブ
Alright, now, it's time for the E. Come on, Fatty.
54321はいデブの負け
They were looking for an excuse to put me through humiliating punishments for losing. It would go on until I lost, and recently they've been coming up with unfair reasons to knock me off right out the bat. Knock me out right off the bat. If I didn't play along, or if I showed displeasure, they'd get really violent. So all I could do was force a smile and take it. Better to be their plaything than their punching bag. Yes, this was better.
おいデブ服脱げ服ほら早くしろよ
Hey, Fatty, come on, strip. Hurry up. See what I mean? I'd already resigned myself to the fact that, to this last night, so I was calm about it. They all tugged at my clothes, trying to force them off. It'd be a pain if I fought back, only to lose a button, so I just gave an embarrassed smile and stripped myself. And once I was reduced to my briefs and shoes, they brought a marker out of nowhere. But it was an oil-based marker. Getting this off wouldn't be easy.
大丈夫だよ風呂入れば落ちるって
Be calm, it'll come off once you take a bath. It wasn't
う
true.
わお前汗ベトベトじゃんペン先滑るよ汚ね
Ew, you're sweating. Ugh, the marker's slipping. Gross. They wrote all sorts of nasty comments on my stomach, back, thigh, and even my briefs. And then they cackled, just like the people on TV. But here, no comedic music would play. My parents didn't care about me. Figures, given I was a wimp who'd been bullied my whole life. If they knew I was getting bullied, they'd just hit me and yell at me for being such a pushover. So I put up with it. Throw away my underwear. Wash off all the writing in the bath so they wouldn't find out. But this trend kept going on, and the crude comments on my body would escalate day after day. Ugh. Worse, it's nearly impossible to wash off the writing from an oil-based marker. Water doesn't just cut it. You need to take a nylon towel and rub your skin really hard. As a result of doing this every day, my skin got raw. Painful. It stung whenever the hot water touched it. The pain would serve as a constant reminder of how my body had been reduced to a sketchbook for bullies. Huh? All of a sudden the lights went out. It was pitch black. Oddly enough, my thoughts ground to a halt too, as if time had stopped in the darkness. No point in getting worked up about this. My parents would surely take care of it. If I made a scene, they'd scold me for being a wimp who couldn't take care of myself. But just then, the shower stopped. It really did feel like time had stopped. What in the world was going to happen? All I could hear was the labored breathing coming from my nose. It scared me, like there was a terrifying demon nearby. Fear not, boy. I heard a spine-tingling voice from the depths of hell at my back. The spine-tingling voice came from within the bathroom, right behind me. The words lingered and echoed off the walls. Poor boy, ridiculed day after day. I came here because I felt sorry for you.
僕を助けてくれるの
Can you help me? Tell me what it is you want.
もうこんな目に遭いたくないんだ
I don't want to go through this ever again. I couldn't stand the humiliation. Excuse me. Very well, but in exchange, I want you to grant me one wish.
俺の願い
What wish would that be? I feed off of man's misery. Offer unto me misery befitting your own wish. Worry not, a mere trifle it is. I just made my glasses worse than they were. I was trying to defog them. Normally I could give that ominous presence what it desired. But, not only had it been another day of getting covered in embarrassing scribbles, some girls saw me and laughed. That bitterness urged me on. An elementary schooler was humming as he walked down the road, clearly in high spirits. The street was desolate, no one was watching. If I was gonna do it, then this was my chance. I approached the boy from behind, aimed for the back of his head, and... Black. I ran for the hills. The boy's cries chased me like a specter, but I ignored them and dashed away. There, I did it. That boy was hit by a complete stranger out of nowhere. By bringing about that misery, I had given the thing what it wanted. I felt a little guilty, but that was outweighed by an overwhelming sense of triumph. And besides, it looked like that boy was coming back from school in a good mood. If he was that happy, it was only fair he shared some of it with me. So there was no need for me to feel bad. Right? Happy now? I kept up my end of the bargain. What about you, ghost thing? I could hear the thing laughing in the distance. That night, I waited in the bath for it to show up again, but it never did. I kept washing my body, waiting for the lights to go out, but they didn't. My body stung. It was itchy. Even after I went to bed and turned out the lights, my chest and back kept aching. The next day I checked my stomach to find it swelling, all purplish red. But if I told my parents and it came out I'd gotten bullied, they'd scold me. It was okay. It'd go away if I just left it alone. Yes. It kept throbbing during classes. I couldn't concentrate.
はい、時間切れ。腹だぜ、腹。
Time's up. Come on, show us that belly.
お前風呂でちゃんと洗ってんだろうな。昨日背中のやつ残ってたぞ。
You do know how to bathe, right? You had some leftover on your back yesterday. I was in for yet another scrubbing punishment during lunch break. But this time, the aching in my chest was more painful. The swelling there was chafing against my shirt. So having those guys take off my clothes and touch me would actually feel better. Ugh. In fact, I just wanted to take off my clothes myself. It was itchy. Itchy, 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 itchy. When I took off my shirt, the swelling finally stopped itching. My chest and back writhed with pleasure, like worms from the rain. There were several purplish black swollen blobs pulsating on my chest, rejoicing in the fresh air. To me, they looked like one of those face assembly puzzles. Eyes, nose, mouth. Those scattered parts protruded from my chest, from the blobs, and they trembled. I like the soundtrack here. I'm gonna turn it up a little. If I can. Where'd my mouse go? I don't think I have a mouse during this scene. Oh, there it is. A cloudy, stringy secretion, similar to phlegm, gushed out of those boils or whatever on his back. Eyes, nose, mouths, the scattered parts protruded from my chest, from the blobs, and trembled. The demon had certainly kept his promise. After all, the looks of horrors on the bullies made it clear they wouldn't even think about touching me now. I'd wished to never go through something like that again, and the thing granted it. Seeing the bullies fall comically on their backsides in terror felt a little liberating, even. I was sure their days of bullying me were at an end. But all of a sudden, they kicked me to the ground. They kicked the eyes, nose, and mouths of the blobs on my chest, and my back, and again, crushing them into paste. The blobs would gush that snot-like secretion with each kick, sticking like strings to their shoes. As for me, well, no pain. Far from it. I felt on top of the world for giving them the fright of their lives. Eventually, they kicked me so much, my whole body was swollen purple and became a blob itself. And so they continued stopping me, crushing me flat as I continued spewing a gooey secretion. In the end, I was reduced to nothing more than a reddish-black puddle, like blood mixed with mucus, and I faded away. Thus, they would never bully me again. However, I wish I'd been more specific with this wish. Like, I wish everyone who bullies me dies. Or something. If only everybody that bullied me. But, if I had, I don't think a kid in the head Oh, okay, I don't think hitting a kid in that, I missed the line. I'm just gonna turn this down a little. But if I had, I don't think hitting a kid in the head would have been enough to satisfy that demon. However, I made another wish. Kill them all. The demon's wish in exchange for that was surprisingly cheap. Your life? All I had to do was offer it the life of but a single student, any student. But that was impossible. I no longer had a body, I couldn't kill someone, much less touch them. Hey, after hearing all this, you feel bad for me, right? Sympathize with poor old me and take my place. Sacrifice somebody. Just one person is fine. Okay? Come on, please. Sacrifice someone for me. Come on, please. Please. A giant lump of meat beyond any possible description writhed in the darkness. It had no arms, no legs, or even a head. It was just a blob of flesh. Eyeballs, noses, and mouths poked from all over it, spewing forth gooey phlegm from time to time. It was creeping closer, and closer, closer. Just then, red eyes flashed in the darkness. And it wasn't just 2 red eyes. Thousands. Countless pairs of red eyes encircled the blob. Oh. They were small Japanese dolls. Endless numbers of the exact same doll clamored about. The blob itself surrounded on all sides. Being dolls, they were completely expressionless. However, they clattered as they clambered over to the blob, one after another. By this point, the blob was nothing more than a piece of candy, tossed into a swarm of ants. The blob could no longer see anything past the oncoming incursion of dolls. The blob howled as it squirted out several strands of phlegm, like a water gun. The blob was clearly screaming in its death throes. But like the piece of candy amidst the swarm of ants, the blob showed no... Blah, blah, blah. The doll showed the blob no mercy, and they devoured it whole. With howls and occasional sound of spewing phlegm, the blob faded into the darkness. Now, they skipped that part. From what I remember, that part was not in what I was reading. They skipped to this scene in the demo. So they cut out that whole thing. Maybe they just thought it would be too confusing to introduce a character like that in the demo. And obviously it's some kind of like background element you want to keep in mind. The doll at Toei's side appeared to shake for a moment.
その人形マジでさ、薄気味悪いんだけど。
That doll gives me the goddamn creeps for real.
大切な人形だからそっとしておけ。か。
You sure treasure that doll, huh?
うるさく言われてなかったら、そんな気味悪い人形、速攻ゴミ箱なのによ。
I'd throw the damn thing in the trash if I wasn't told to leave it alone. There was a wet sound, followed by the sweet scent of saliva. Toei's lips shone sensually, as a thin, silver string trailed from them. And once more, she put the boy's toes in her mouth. Ugh.
頭さえイカれてなきゃよ。結構いい女なのによ。
You'd be a real fine piece if you weren't such a effing nut job.
やめんじゃねえよ。続けろや、グズ。
I didn't say to stop. Keep going, you dumb crap. The boy kicked Toei in the chest with his bare foot. Aw, Toei. But like a dog, Toei groveled before him again. She started sucking his toe one more time, like a baby would its mother's teeth. The school's bike was lot was empty, except right before and after school, and so it had become a gathering spot for delinquents. Thus, delinquent groups would often meet up here during lunch, and the like. About 10 of them were here at the moment. The delinquents would curse, spit, and tell each other all sorts of crude stories with deplorable smiles on their face. A ways apart from them was their leader, Sho Kamenuma, getting his toes sucked by Toei Kurakami.
翔さんって性癖変わってますよね。
You got some real odd taste there, Sho.
ほんとほんと。足より舐めさせるとこがあるでしょうに。
Vulgar joke.
俺はよ、そういうのはきちんとしてるわけ。そういうのは結婚するまでお預けするたちなわけよ。
Right, I know what I'm doing. Relax. I'm saving that for after we're married.
つうかさ、それで線香来た時焦ってチャックで挟んだら笑えねえじゃん。
Besides, it would be no good if a teacher came by and I got it caught in my fly, trying to hide it now, would it?
歯をぶつけんなっつっただろ。
Ugh. You watch your dang teeth. It seems Sho had gotten the air around his toenail, under his toenail, stuck in Toei's mouth, while she'd been convulsing with laughter. While he'd been convulsing with laughter. Suddenly, Toe roared, or whatever his name is, Sho, roared angrily and kicked Toe away with his free left foot. Kurakami's slender body fell right over. Sho must have shown her no mercy. However, it seemed she didn't even understand the cruelty inflicted upon her. For she groveled before Sho's foot yet again, and started trying to suck his toes, her expression never changing even once. Hopefully our main character is gonna come in here and kick this guy's ass. But Sho, fed up at this point, placed his foot on Toe's face and kicked her again.
やめなよ。
Yeah, you stop it.
ああ、
乱暴は良くないと思うよ。
Violence is wrong, you know.
なんだてめえ。誰よ。
The F did you say? Who the hell are you? Find out next time. I'm just gonna stop really briefly and I will start up again in a few minutes. We'll find out if Suzumu will kick Sho's ass next time. It would be probably pretty nice if he did, but I'm gonna guess he solves it in a non-violent manner. But we shall see. Bye bye.